Hey there idiots, welcome back to Observe. In today's video we're going to be looking at Amber Heard's body language during her deposition in regards to her ex-husband Johnny Depp. This is an interesting read to be sure, but before we dive into that I want to be able to say a few things. First, for those of you who are patrons, thank you so much. Your support means so much to me. It's helping me be able to turn this into my career, to be able to present content to you. And if you would like to be able to make that happen, if you're not a patron already, go ahead and feel free to follow the link in the description below. There's some tiers and stuff for you to be able to have various benefits. And if you want to enter the Just Deduce It, Cold Reading, or Two Truths and a Lie series, that's how you do it as well. Along with that, I have released some merch, including the Get Off Your Golden Couch merch from the Jeffree Star Nonverbal Reading. It's all available once again in the links below. And last but not least, I am an Audible affiliate, so if you want to follow that link, you sign up, you download your audiobook, you could cancel that trial, keep your audiobook, and it still counts as a donation towards me. It's free for you, and everybody kind of wins in that situation. So try that as well. Once again, everything's in the link below. That's enough of me talking about me though. Let's roll the little intro thing and then we'll go from there. Alright, so there's a few things that I want to be able to say, and I'll say at the beginning of all of my videos that are on nonverbal communication. It is at best 70% accurate. There is definitely a talent to reading it. It is not a complete science as something like psychology is. It is not quite a pseudoscience. It is a mixture in between. So if you watch this isn't absolute truth. This is an educated conclusion based off of given facts. I have received requests to be able to do Amber Heard's deposition from 2016, and this is the time that I'm able to do it. If you would like to be able to know more about what caused this to all come to fruition, feel free to research it yourself. I am here to look at the body language of things. Now, I spent a good amount of time actually, a good couple days trying to just establish a nonverbal baseline from Amber herself so that I can better get a read on her during this deposition, because establishing a baseline or where a person's nonverbal communication is at rest is crucial to be able to understand where their points of friction or their positive or negative spikes are in their baseline. So I'm going to go ahead and show you part of one video that allows you to kind of see where that baseline lies so we can understand kind of who we're dealing with. And then we're going to go and unpack all of her stuff. We're also going to look at Johnny Depp's stuff, and then we're going to look at some footage of her and Johnny Depp together to be able to see how this relationship really stands. And this will all paint us a pretty good picture as to what is going on, the truth behind the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp snafu. Let's go ahead and watch this video.
No one had in my family really ever left Texas. My parents in school once were called in and they asked them about me being such an artist and, can I maybe channel that into like more productive things like, math or science or something. And my parents were like, it was this like almost apologetic attitude, like, we don't know where she gets.
Okay, so this is actually a fairly, just for your ability to see it, I've watched far more hours on her than I would ever care to admit to be able to establish this baseline, but that little blip there allows you to see some very important things that need to be established while reviewing her body language. She stumbles over her words a fair bit in most situations, actually. She always processes, so that's something that we need to keep in mind as we continue to do a read. She also looks around a fair bit, so that is something that we also need to keep in mind. Her eyes are constantly wandering around. And then along with that, if you look at her eyes specifically, they're not overtly expressive in and of themselves. They maintain this almost hooded expression most of the time. That's just something that is specific to her and how her face and her nonverbal communication reveals itself. Now, I do want to say that I'm not going to watch the entire deposition on here, so I'm going to touch on various areas of it. If this is a popular enough video, I might revisit it and maybe do the rest of it or go more in depth, but for sake of viewability for you, I am going to keep this under 30 minutes long. There's a lot to unpack. We're going to go ahead and start and just go.
6:18 p.m. and we're back home.
And just a clarification, we're not going to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege, so you can re-ask that question if you like.
Which question?
Did you commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Any time prior to May 22nd, 2016, did you ever commit an act of domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant, but go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm asking you?
No.
No?
Yes, I understand what you're asking.
Oh my God. Alrighty, right off the bat. Okay, so you can see she's doing her thing where her eyes are darting all over the room, but it seems a little bit more excessive as soon as the question comes in. And this is actually common in people who don't want to be in a situation that they're in. This could be due to boredom, this could be due to guilt, this could be due to not wanting to be caught for something. When you are looking around a room a lot while being spoken to, that shows a lack of interest in what's going on. So Amber is showing quite clearly with her nonverbal communication that she doesn't want to be there. She has no interest in being there. Why that is another issue altogether. But her nonverbal communication is expressing that clearly. Now she also does a thing where there's already a nonverbal misalignment, and a fairly strong one. It has to do with the nodding of the head while saying no. This is not always a guaranteed thing. In fact, a lot of the times people will shake their head while saying a positive thing or nod their head while saying a negative thing. But in this situation, she nods in affirmation, legitimately nods like, yeah, but then actually says no afterwards. It's two distinct communication devices that are used one right after the other rather than at the same time, and they're exactly misaligned. And this is not a good tick for Amber because it's already setting up this idea of not being able to really fully believe or trust what she's going to be saying, but it's not concrete, so we still have to go from here. Let's keep watching.
And prior to May 21,
I don't know why she does that lip lick thing. Some people say it's a soothing gesture. She was also just eating food, which you'll see that more in this deposition, which is so annoying, but it's not enough for it to really sway my reading on what she is as far as her honesty goes. But let's go ahead and keep watching from here.
2016 or May 22, 2016, is it your testimony that you never committed any act of what would be considered domestic violence against Mr. Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant to these proceedings.
No, I did my best to defend myself and not get seriously hurt or be a doormat to whom this happens to.
Okay, right off the bat, this question is asked and she starts shrugging, which is an indicator of insecurity, or at least not being certain about what is being said. And then along with that, she does some placating, self-soothing gestures and blocking gestures and shaking her head. It's a very massive cluster spike from what we've seen in her baseline, which is usually fairly constant, to indicate that she's really, really not comfortable with that question here. Now, legally it's not applicable, but non-verbally it's a very telling question, and her reaction to it is extremely telling. So far, this is 2 strikes already against Amber, and we're literally a minute into this video. This is not a good thing for Amber. Let's keep watching.
Isn't it true that you had previously told Johnny Depp that you had hit him?
I'm going to object. It's a different question. It's vague and ambiguous, vague as to time.
Many times when we fought, well, not many times.
Alright, so there's a thing about the mouth shrugs, which I brought this up often in Shane's video. Generically speaking, mouth shrug indicates insecurity or uncertainty about what is being said. I think that is the case here. I'm not certain that that is the case here, but I think that is the case here. She flashes a couple of them, and then she starts stumbling all over her words, which there's 2 reasons that could be. Either one, she's working to recollect something, or alternatively, she's working to come up with a story about something. Let's keep watching this because this is a pattern and you'll see it here.
He hit me for a very long time before I ever
I'm going to
picked up my
object as
arms.
non-responsive and move to strike. Ms. Hurd, I'd like you to listen to what I'm about to play. Would you do that?
Don't eat. Just real quick, why is she eating?
Just like, why?
It's not sustenance. They're snacky foods. And there are theories that are saying that she was given this food to be able to buy herself time so that in issues where she has a difficult question, she could be eating food to be able to come up with an answer. It does present itself in this video. But it's just so frustrating to me that that's how little she cares about what's going on. I don't think that a person who is on trial for alleged assault accusations involved in a relationship would just be casually snacking and acting like she's so unenthused about what's going on. If she's actually the victim, why is she not more passionate about it? This is not a good indicator for Amber being the victim. It's a very good indicator for her being an abuser. But let's keep watching this. They're gonna start playing some audio as well, and let's go.
I don't even know if I said, I might have said, like, what the, you know, whatever, because I just been hitting the head with the corner of the door.
I'm so sorry, I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up.
Do you recognize the voices on that tape?
Mm-hmm.
And who are the people on that tape?
It's Johnny and I.
Okay.
Important thing. She talked with her mouth full there, right? She just answered the question because it's a no-doubt question. Who's in it? It's Johnny and I. And she said that through a mouthful of food. Later on, when there's a more difficult question and she has food in her mouth, suddenly she's not comfortable talking with food in her mouth. Suspicious. Let's keep watching.
I was trying to escape from a room where Johnny was attacking me. And in order to escape, I was trying to get onto the other side of the door, attempting to close the door, and he was attempting to get in despite my attempts to try and escape an assault.
Isn't it true that on this tape that was just played,
So there was a lot of condescension in her voice during that. This could be due to the fact that she may have been asked this question often. And then afterwards she shakes her head no, and this is either in disgust or it's in a nonverbal misalignment saying like, I don't believe at all what I just said, or this is false, something along those lines. However, during this time as a nonverbal analyst, I would advise to really push on points of these responses because they're not genuine. There's something fishy going on here, and it needs to be pushed. It needs to be tested to find out if it's actually genuine or not. But let's keep watching.
did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get into the door, into the room, I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
And you told him.
She's like, duh. What? If this was any other situation, would you ever believe that sort of explanation as to what happened? Or her response to hard evidence of her vocally saying that she hit Johnny is this weird, like...
No, yes, but, well, it was because he was, the door was there, and I hit him to get out of the, duh.
I'm like, what? What? Want to rehearse that again and maybe bring it back out to me? Whatever. All right, let's keep watching.
Did you tell Johnny Depp at that time you were speaking to him that you were really sorry for hitting him with the door, hitting him?
I think in that recording I made it very clear that I was sorry that the door hit him while he was trying to get into the room I was escaping, or attempting to escape into.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm getting frustrated by her lack of concern for this situation. And now she's doing a very obvious, I have no interest in being here tell. This leaning of your head on your hand like that. This is classic. I am bored. I have no interest. It's a very, very clear nonverbal tell. If your significant other is doing this while you're talking to them, or your friend or your boss or anybody, they're done listening to you. They don't care to be there. So she's communicating that extremely clearly, which is just so baffling to me if she's really a victim. Why is she so uninterested in being there if she's the victim? But we're going to go ahead and keep watching, and then we'll start looking at like Johnny Depp stuff as well.
So you told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct?
The recording speaks for itself.
Did you say that?
I said whatever I said in that recording. I
Okay.
don't. When you're
She just proved that she wasn't listening. Once again, an indicator that she doesn't care to be there. Not really an indicator of wanting to prove her innocence. Really more of an indicator of wanting to not be in a courtroom situation that might prove her guilt. I'm really not impressed with this. For the sake of study, we're going to continue to beat this dead horse. Let's go.
So on the tape, you tell Johnny Depp that you did mean to hit him.
Objection, that's argumentative and it misstates what the recording was.
And it also misrepresents what actually happened, which is him trying to get into a room I'm trying to keep him out of. And then he runs the door over my toes, trying to get into the room. I tried to push him out of it, which is what the hit is referred to. And Johnny, whenever he was injured or touched, it always referred to it in these ways of punching or clocked or whatever. And whether you discussed it with him or not, the last thing you do.
A lot of defensive gestures there. People do that to defend or ward off or prevent something from hitting home. Everybody does it in some form or another. She's doing it here because I think she realized that she probably slipped up a little bit verbally. I bet you her lawyer's like, oh my God, stop. Just kill it there. Let's go.
In talking to him afterwards or trying to reconcile with him is to get into what the definition of those words mean to him.
Just say what
So
happened.
I never even addressed it. He would, if he was ever pushed, it was a cold. He called it a cold clock. I mean, it was just very dramatic.
Isn't
about
it true, Ms. Heard, that in September of 2015, you punched Johnny Depp in the face with a closed fist?
Wow. What a pause. And it's interesting because we saw earlier that she's comfortable talking with her mouth full, but now she's not. What an interesting thing. Now she doesn't want to talk with her mouth full. Almost like there's a hard question and she has to think of a good response. And it's a poorly delivered response. She had all that time to think and it's still shit. Let's watch.
I hit Johnny one time when he. Sorry, I'll wait.
No, you answer the question. Please stop whispering because it's distracting over here.
It's your team.
No, I was referring
No,
to
these
this
two.
actually.
I can't hear them. I hear them. So please answer the question.
I can't answer. There was whispering. There was whispering in the room and I can't answer when they're whispering. Fuck off. Sorry.
Yes or no, did you ever
No.
punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
Thank you. One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss" or Sean. I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Ms. Heard, I must interrupt you,
You can't.
because
You
I've
can't.
asked you a yes
Then
or no question.
withdraw your question then because
Ms.
she's
Heard,
answering.
prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish. You've already asked and she's already answered and you interrupt.
Ooh. Okay, this is a frustrating thing for me. She asked, the lawyer asked, Amber didn't answer, and then her lawyer stepped in and complained for a little bit, and then the lawyer asked again, and Amber answered a different question, and then the lawyer asked again. This is 3 times of the same question, and then her lawyer bitched again saying that she already answered that question. This is not good news for Amber, but let's go ahead and keep watching.
Ms. Heard, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, Vegas to time.
Hey, everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to the domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to, including the way you were just, if you
I'm asking
wish.
for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs. She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did. but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of stairs, and she has never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not deserve to be pushed down the flight of stairs. And it looked like she was about to be. And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her. But I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
Okay, interesting. In my opinion, that wasn't the case. Now, there's more footage to this, and I thought that it was on this specific tape, but apparently not. There's other parts of her recollecting some abuse from Johnny, and it's terribly delivered. There's way too much thinking. There's incongruencies in the delivery, the story, everything, to where it's been pretty well shown that it's not true. So we're actually going to go ahead and move on to Johnny Depp's side of things so we could see kind of what his ordeal is, and then we're going to look at perhaps some of them together so we can see what that relationship dynamic really is like.
Basically, I had a pretty nasty injury.
Interesting here. Johnny does a lot of hesitations in his recalling of things, his recollection of things, which this could be, once again, because he's trying to recall or because he's trying to make up. Something that a lot of people have noticed, and I am noticing as well, which doesn't make sense. Either one, it's the duper's delight, or it's him trying to find a way to lighten a not very lighthearted story, is he does this little half smirk. Only part of his mouth is raised. It doesn't reach his eyes. It's not a genuine feeling, so I don't think it's duper's delight. It's probably more a forced emotion, but he does it a couple times. Let's go ahead and continue watching this.
That I actually, I had to protect her at the time. And so I said that it was caught in the door, one of these huge accordion doors at this house. That wasn't the case at all. She smashed, she threw a vodka bottle at me. And my hand was resting on the marble of the bar like that. And the first bottle went just past my ear. And the second one was a larger bottle, and she threw it from about this distance. And it smashed into the bar, which, and this finger, who I now call Little Richard, was the tip of the finger was severed.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop his here because all the way throughout it, his body language is pretty genuine from what I can tell. He's a very soft-spoken person, and this is actually common across all of his interviews, how he interacts with people. He's just very soft-spoken, a lot more mellow. So during this, his nonverbal communication stays constant to his baseline. The only part is that duper's delight that might show up, or forced positivity in a negative situation, which I think is more plausible. Now, something that's interesting verbally, and these are the words that are being said in his recollection of things as opposed to Amber's recollection of things, is that during his recollections, he gives the crucial details to the story to be able to convey what happened, which is a sign of honesty. You communicate what needs to be communicated in order to understand what is happening. Amber, on the other hand, does something which a lot of deceitful people will do, in that she adds tons of extraneous details that don't need to be in there, which people would assume would be, oh, it's because she remembers it, it's so vivid. But that's not what actually happens. And we're going to go ahead and watch a clip of them together at some event, and you can see the body language of Amber as opposed to Johnny, and how they communicate, and the submissive gestures and body language from Johnny towards Amber, and how she definitely seems to be in control of that relationship in an unhealthy way.
まず久々の日本についての感想を聞かせてください。
To be back in Japan. It's been about a year and a half or so.
So you'll watch Johnny here. He looks at the ground a lot, which is a show of a lack of confidence. And this is also partially because he's trying to hear in a very loud area. But you can also see Amber's body language in contrast. He does a lot of looking down. She does a lot of high posture, very in command. And she does this like condescending look at Johnny. And it really shows the power struggle that's going on here, to where Johnny is just, he's not in a healthy relationship, and Amber is not a good partner. Let's keep watching this real quick.
I mean, for me, it's always a pleasure. The only problem I ever have here is that I don't get to spend enough time here. Well, my girl and I are talking about taking the trip to the country, you know, really the outskirts, the country, the very native cultural experience. So we want to do that someday.
とにかくね、私日本大好きで、本当に嬉しいんですけど、いつも時間が足らなくて。
So you can see it again there. He does a look up at her. She looks down at him. This is an indicator of the state of their relationship. I'm not going to watch the rest of this because it's pretty repetitive and this is a long enough video. But that's where their body language lies. As a recap here, Amber Heard went through and told a tale that was very poorly delivered, had a lot of incongruencies, had terrible body language, a lot of signs of mental processing in areas that it shouldn't be, a lot of commonalities of what would be considered deceit. And so all of it amassing into a large pile is an indicator that she's likely not being honest, that she's likely the abuser. But that's gonna go ahead and be the rest of that video. If you did like the video, actually do the things like it, hit subscribe, do all those sorts of things. I know that YouTubers all say that, but it genuinely is helping me, so I really do appreciate your support. Speaking of support, once again, you can go over to Patreon. You want to be able to get some merch, there's merch down there. If you want to be able to get an audiobook for free using my link and donate to me, that's also down there. You know, do all the things. Also, if you do happen to get some merch, make sure that you take a picture of it and tag me on Instagram with it, because I'd love to be able to see that, and I like to be able to see you. But without further ado, that's all that I've got for the day. My name is Logan, and you have been oh so awesome, as you always are. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.